Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a world that constantly tries to soften us. A world that rewards comfort, excuses, and mediocrity. Everywhere we look, we're told to take it easy, go with the flow, and be kind to yourself. But what if kindness to yourself means destroying your potential? Everyone wants to be strong, rich, respected, and powerful. But nobody wants to do what it takes. Why? Because it's uncomfortable, because it hurts, because it's hard. And that's the problem. You've been sold a lie your whole life that comfort is the goal, that if you just find balance, take time for yourself, go easy, life will work out. That's nonsense. Comfort is the most seductive trap there is. It lures you in with softness and keeps you weak. It rewards you for doing nothing and punishes you the moment you decide to be better. But the truth is, nothing worth having comes from comfort. The second you get comfortable, you're dying. Not physically maybe, but mentally, spiritually. You stop striving, stop pushing, stop evolving. You start to rot from the inside out. People today confuse self-care with self-sabotage. You think taking a day off, binge watching shows, eating junk, sleeping in is self-love? No, that's just weakness in disguise. That's you choosing the easy route. That's you avoiding the grind, avoiding the pain. But pain is what builds you. When I wake up and I don't feel like training, I train harder. When I don't feel like working, I double down. You think it's because I'm superhuman? No, it's because I've learned one thing. Feelings are irrelevant. Weak people are ruled by feelings. Strong people are ruled by standards. And if your standard is comfort, softness, ease, then your life will reflect that. You'll be broke, tired, lazy, and mediocre. And no one will save you from that. Not your parents, not your friends, not your government, not your God. You save you, or you stay weak forever. Understand this. The world rewards strength. Always has, always will. Look around. Who gets respect? Who gets money? Who gets the girl, the car, the life? It's not the soft, fragile, excuse-making man. It's the one who suffers for it. The one who gets up when he doesn't want to. The one who shows up when no one's watching. That's who wins every single time. Weakness tells you you've done enough. Strength says do more. Weakness says take it easy. Strength says keep going. Weakness wants you to be liked. Strength doesn't care. Strength focuses on results. Strength is cold. It doesn't flinch. It doesn't complain. It doesn't negotiate. And if you want to be great, you better get used to living uncomfortable. You better reject weakness every time it tries to sneak in, because it will every single day. It's in your thoughts. It's in your habits. It's in that voice that says, skip the workout, hit snooze, start tomorrow. Kill that voice. You kill it by acting in spite of it. You kill it by doing what's hard over and over again until the hard becomes your normal. That's how you win. That's how you grow. You think lions take days off? You think warriors need motivation? No, they do what needs to be done, period. You need to start operating like that, not from emotion, from purpose. Do you think I enjoy every second of what I do? No, but I don't care. I've built a life where my discomfort fuels me, where the hard things are the ones I chase, not avoid. You need to stop hiding from pain and start inviting it. Invite the early mornings, invite the sore muscles, invite the rejection, the judgment, the struggle, because those are your teachers. Comfort teaches you nothing. Comfort softens you. It makes you slow, weak, forgettable. Everyone wants freedom. But freedom costs. It costs sleep. It costs your old life. It costs fake friends, bad habits, and all the parts of you that are dragging you down. You don't get to be free and be soft. Pick one. Either you build a life of strength, discipline, and power, or you keep sitting there watching others live the life you were too weak to chase. You have to train your mind to crave discomfort. When your legs are shaky, when your bank account is low, when you're tired and alone, those are your moments. That's where men are forged. That's where the winners are separated from the average. Anyone can act strong when things are easy, but when it's hard, really hard, what do? Do you fold or do you show up harder? It's not about talent. It's not about luck. It's about resilience, willpower, discipline. You want to win? Learn to suffer better than everyone else. Learn to operate at a high level when others break. That's how you dominate. That's how you stay hard. That's weakness. Because weakness doesn't come in all at once. It sneaks in, inch by inch. A skipped workout here, a cheat meal there. One lazy day becomes 2, then 5, then a lifestyle. You stop challenging yourself. You stop holding the line. And soon, the version of you that was hungry, focused, and on fire is gone. You killed him with comfort. Don't let that happen. Every time you pick comfort over effort, you lose. Maybe not right away, but it adds up. And every time you choose the harder path, every time you embrace the pain and keep going, you win. You become sharper, harder, more dangerous. And this world doesn't respect anything less than dangerous. So don't chase what feels good. Chase what makes you better, what makes you strong, what makes you unstoppable. Build a mindset that thrives under pressure. Create a reality where the only acceptable standard is excellence. That's the path. That's the truth. Oh, and let me explain something to you. Something they'll never teach you in school, something your soft little self-help books will never tell you. Mental toughness is a choice. That's it. It's not a talent. It's not something you're born with. It's not some magical trait reserved for a few chosen men. It's a decision you make every single day. You wake up, you look at yourself in the mirror, and you decide who you're going to be. Are you going to be the guy who makes excuses, who folds the second life gets uncomfortable, or are you going to be the guy who refuses to break no matter what? People love to talk about motivation. How do I stay motivated? Listen, I don't care how you feel. Motivation is for amateurs. Discipline is what matters. Mental toughness is built when you do what you're supposed to do, regardless of how you feel. You're tired? So what? You're stressed? Welcome to the club. You're not in the mood? Who cares? You think the top 1% are operating based on mood swings and emotions? No. They've made a choice. They've set a standard, and they stick to it. That's mental toughness. It's about consistency in the face of chaos. Discipline when things go wrong. Pressure doesn't break them. It sharpens them. And that's exactly what you need to become if you want to win in this world. Because this life isn't fair. It doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't owe you a damn thing. The world respects power. It respects strength. It respects the man who shows up no matter what, who handles business even when everything around him is falling apart. You want to know what real power is? Real power is when your emotions scream for you to quit and you keep going anyway. That's when you become dangerous. That's when you become unstoppable. When your mind tells you to give up and you say, no, not today. I've got work to do. That's the level you need to operate at. Not just sometimes, every single day. Mental toughness is refusing to negotiate with weakness. It's you versus you every moment. And the weaker version of you is always trying to pull you down. That voice that tells you to hit snooze. That voice that says, take a break, you've earned it. That voice is the enemy. That voice is comfortable. That voice is safe. But that voice is also responsible for every failure in your life. You kill that voice by action. You drown it out with discipline. You prove to yourself over and over that your feelings don't run the show. You do. That's how winners think. They don't ask themselves if they feel like doing the hard thing. They just do it because the mission is more important than the mood. Cut it off. Cut off the soft mindset. Cut off the lazy habits. Cut off the idea that you have time. You don't have time. Every second you spend indulging weakness is a second stolen from your potential. Every time you delay what you know needs to be done, you trade greatness for comfort. You can have goals, sure. Goals mean nothing if your daily standards are weak. Everyone says they want success, but their actions scream mediocrity. They treat discipline like it's optional. They treat excellence like it's a mood. Let me tell you something. Excellence is not a feeling. It's a requirement. It's what separates winners from losers. It's what creates dominance in a world full of soft, lazy, excuse-making nobody. If you want to win, you better hold yourself to a code. Not when it's easy, not when you feel motivated, but always, every single day. Customer standards are personal. They're non-negotiable. They're the rules you write for yourself, not because someone told you to, but because you respect yourself enough to demand more. You say, I train every day. Then you train, no matter what. You say, I don't skip work. Then you show up, no matter how tired you are. You say, I never lie to myself. Then you keep it real, especially when it hurts. That's a standard. It's not about perfection. It's about consistency, integrity, and pressure. Because if you don't pressure yourself, life will. And life doesn't go easy on men with no standards. Weak men fold the second things get uncomfortable. Their standards crumble under stress. And then they wonder why their life is average. Let me tell you why. Because they're not defending their code. They've got one rule when things are good and a different rule when things get hard. That's not a standard. That's a convenience. A real standard doesn't move. It doesn't shift with mood or weather or circumstance. It holds, it anchors you in the storm. You ever notice how the most dangerous men, the ones who truly dominate, don't have to say much? It's because their presence speaks louder than their words. You can feel their discipline. You can see the structure in their life. And you know why? Because they have rules that they live by. And those rules are sharp. They don't let themselves slip. They don't let comfort sneak in. They don't negotiate with weakness. Their standard is carved into their mind like stone. It's who they are. You need to get to that level. You need to write your rules and live by them. And when life tries to test you, and it will, you don't back down. You defend it ruthlessly. That's how you build confidence. That's how you earn respect from others, and more importantly, from yourself. Because when you say you're going to do something and you actually follow through, you build identity. You start becoming the man you said you'd be. Most men never get there. They lower the bar every time they face resistance. They compromise their standards to fit in, to be liked, to feel safe. But that safety, it costs them their edge. It turns lions into sheep. You need to stop caring about being liked and start caring about being aligned with your mission, your purpose, your code. And don't expect anyone to understand. Your standards won't make sense to most people. They'll call you obsessed. They'll call you extreme. Let them. That's how you know you're on the right track. When average people start getting uncomfortable around your discipline, that's the sign. That's when you double down, not back off. Because you're not here to be liked. You're here to build an empire, to become the strongest version of yourself. And that requires obsession. That requires standards so high they make others uncomfortable. The key is to set the bar, then never drop it. If your standard is early mornings, then get up early even when you're exhausted. If your standard is honesty, then speak truth even when it costs you. If your standard is physical excellence, then train even when your body says no. You are not your feelings, you are your standards. And the world will treat you accordingly. And don't get it twisted. This isn't about being perfect. You'll slip, you'll miss, that's life. But the question is, what happens next? Do you bounce back stronger, or do you let one slip become a pattern? Weak men break their standard once and never recover. Strong men fall, but they get up even harder. They recalibrate, refocus, and lock in because they know that defending the standard is a war that never ends. Every day you're in battle with laziness, with temptation, with the world trying to drag you back to average. But if your standard is strong, if it's non-negotiable, you win that war. You win it with structure. You win it with systems. You win it by eliminating the option to be weak. You stop asking yourself, do I feel like it? And you start saying, this is just what I do. When you live like that, when your standard becomes your identity, everything shifts. You stop chasing motivation. You stop needing external validation. You stop caring about what anyone else is doing because you're locked in on your own mission. And that focus, that clarity, that discipline, it makes you unstoppable.